I said, baby, can I talk to you for a moment? Seems like I'm really feeling kind of lonely. Yeah. No, I can't wait to see you again. Oh, baby, tired of looking back on all the mistakes. Being on my own ain't worth the heartache. Trying to find my way right back to you. Ooh, I would walk 1,000 miles just to get to you. Walk the oceans, cross the desert if you want me to. Ain't no mountain high or valley low. Your love's the only thing I know. Here I come, baby, right back to your loving arms. Loving arms. I said, baby, 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 can't sleep without you here beside me. Woman, I need your love to guide me. You know how to ease my troubled mind. Oh, I said, lady, 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 lady. When you look at me, girl, I believe it. You'll never know it's love until you feel it. Gonna be with you till my dying day. Woo. I would walk 1,000 miles just to get to you. I walk 1,000 miles. Walk the oceans, cross the desert if you want me. Anything to get to you. Ain't no mountain high or valley low. Your love's the only thing I know. Here I come, baby. Here I come, baby. Right back to your loving arms. Should have told you before. I'll always love you. All my heart and soul. Hey.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Women with Words. Of course, today is Thursday. We're here. It's going to be an amazing hour, or hour and 10, or hour and 15, wherever it is. Just want to, of course, we want to pay homage first, but let me just say first, I am Glendy Jean Jonius, and I'm here with my co-host.
She likes her name, Agatha Joseph.
And of course, Black Santa is somewhere, only God knows where he is.
The man working, man. He working for the man. You know this is America.
He's somewhere, wherever you are, Black Santa. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Women with Words. We do have a co-host, a guest co-host, who's going to be sitting in Black Santa's place that I'm going to bring up with us. And here she is. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
Hey,
We're good.
Welcome.
And this woman has some history with this group.
Yes.
She is our first Golden Mic winner. And she actually gets to sit in the place today of a co-host.
Yes.
One thing I like about this woman, she can write, she can explain, she can say like she is, so it's like it is. So we're looking forward to having welcome Enid Mai. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to have this conversation with you guys. I mean, I enjoy the chat and conversations we have on Facebook. It can get intense sometimes, but
and Facebook keep trying not to allow us to be great, but we're gonna be great.
I know, right? I'm in Facebook jail right now, so I keep trying to harass us. It was some posts on this page that got me in jail. Y'all know we got to talk about that though.
Yeah, we will talk about it because I'm still working my way. I think today is day 17 of
Your
so I'm
30-day
my jail term,
sentence?
second sentence. This is day 17 of my second sentence. I already had a first sentence. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it today. We need to when we come up to accent, we're gonna talk about it because we
Yes.
want, I mean, everybody enjoys this space. You know,
Yes.
talk to the aunt cousin Lucid and I keep reporting us. Don't leave us alone, please.
Oh
We're
no,
just trying
man.
to have some fun.
Exactly. You know, it bothers me because when you decide to join a group of grown folks,
Yes.
Exactly.
grown folks who are willing to talk about life as it is,
Yes.
talk about women, talk about sexuality, sensuality, talk about everything, then be prepared. This is not our mother's group where they told you when you got your period, don't let the boy touch you.
There you
Exactly.
go. There you go.
Exactly.
This is a group of grown women.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
and you know, I always tell people when you hit a certain age from 35 up, and when especially when you get to 50, you are at liberty to live your life the way you feel fit.
Exactly. And you know,
Yeah.
this world is so stressful.
Yes.
Having this outlet on social media is truly helping a lot of people, especially in the times that we're in. So
Yes.
I beg your my people, ahoya for your lewato awale yama
That'd be
yama.
great. But
Yeah.
Let them lead a group.
Yeah.
You ever go?
If you ever the yama yama go, right?
yeah, cool. But you know what? I think before we bring our very special guest, let's talk about why they keep blocking me. So the first time I got blocked, I'm telling you, and it's almost like when I'm a Facebook fanatic. So it's like when I get blocked, it's like I'm going crazy. It's like, do I start another group? What do I do? What do I not do? It's like I thought, and then they'll tell you 30 days. My first sentence was 30 days. And the reason why I got blocked the first time was because during the Corona time, remember the Clorox thing?
Yeah.
I had shared a picture, but I had actually shared it in an educational way saying you don't want to do Clorox for
Yes.
COVID-19.
Yeah.
And a year later, when I'm in the heat of my Women with Words page, they blocked me. I could die.
They sentence you.
Like
Yeah,
30
and
days.
the reason why is that whenever you talk about the pandemic, you have to put something about the CDC
Okay.
on there. So if you're going to talk about the pandemic, you have to put a link and say you for more information, go to the
Okay.
CDC,
I
follow
was like,
CDC guidelines. Yes,
That's good to know.
yeah,
yes,
I
that's
was
what you
going
have to do.
crazy because I couldn't share any live. I could
You can't do
on the
nothing. You
page.
can't like no picture.
I
You
can't
can't
like no
comment on
page.
nothing.
And
Yes.
then the other day, what I got, I forgot now what the other one I got. Another thing for is like they gave me warning from the page. Oh, I shared the thing. I think I said, LIB men are lazy.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about my own.
Oh, what did you know about LIB men?
The black they said it was a hateful thing. I tried to dispute it. They said no, it was
Nope.
hate. So I'm still in jail for 16 days. I got I got like 3 more to go.
The last time I checked, I have an 1 day, 18 hours left. But I am gonna be very truthful. I am guilty as charged. What I said, I shouldn't have said it. But we will get into that later.
Yes, yes. So, folks, we want to welcome all of you here. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. We do have a guest co-host. Enid Mai Jones is here with us. You don't want to miss this show. And we're going to welcome our very special guest this evening. Mr. Joseph is here with us. Welcome.
Thank you. How's
Thank you.
everyone
Thank
doing?
you. I need to arrange us so that here guys I can be on the same side under the same hot seat.
Oh, that's okay. So we have to tell the people why we have this set up today, right?
Yes,
And why
yes.
we don't have Charles, Dennis,
And
and
Charlene, yeah.
Charlene Brumskin here. We got a message that Charles had a family emergency, so they wouldn't be able to join us. So our thoughts and prayers go out to Charles Dennis and his family. We still would like to have those two lovebirds to come and join us and tell us about love under the African skies. So that's going to happen.
Yes.
So, Glennie and I and the rest of the team in the background, we have to present a show today. So, since this is February, and I've talked so much about Mr. Joseph,
Yes. Yes.
and so he didn't volunteer. He was voluntold that he that he would be filling the gap today, because he was needed. And as always, he's very supportive of everything I do, and he agreed to come. So, because it was Glennie and I and Mr. Joseph, we had to bring someone else. So, who other than our golden mic recipient, than my own self, Auntie?
Okay. Here we go.
My own self, Auntie, in the mid-June. So this is why we have this lineup today. But it's going to be a great show because Mr. Joseph and I are in the hot seat. So everything is open. You can ask us whatever, and we are going to answer to the best of our ability.
And let me just make some clarity here. If you guys can look at this woman face today, Agatha, please look at Mrs. Joseph. This lady has never come on this show with any makeup.
That's not true. That is not true.
That I could just tell by the time I saw her, I'm like, oh my God, girl, you lit up today. But
Well,
it's a pleasure to have him here. Of course, this is our last show for Love Month. Those people who are married, those people who are loving. We got Enid Mai here. I'm trying to see, but there's things I want to catch up to. I can't. I want to catch up to loving under the African skies. I want to catch up to just having dinner and having my whoever he's gonna be serenade for me and play some music.
relax.
Yes. You haven't seen it, honey? You missed that video. I had to press. Let me tell you.
Oh, I gotta see that.
I'm passing through Facebook and I just see somebody playing the piano and Enid Mai is just sitting listening. I'm like, she's been serenaded. I'm like, wait a minute here. And okay,
Mr. Joseph, you hear that?
Yes.
After that show, he might need to serenade me.
My lover was playing the piano for serenaded her for like maybe an hour. So guess what I did? You know me.
Oh, wow.
I went in your inbox. I said, may I please share this video? He said, sure, you can share it. Thanks for asking. And I showed it. It was just a beautiful thing. I mean, there some people, love is a beautiful thing. I mean, me, I am happily, singly, divorced, and a virgin. That's my characteristics that I like, and I'm gonna keep that. But like I said, marriage is a very beautiful thing. So before we go to Mr. Joseph, since we have Enid Mai, I mean, you're our co-host. We just want you to tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and then we'll go to Mr. Joseph.
Well, as you all know, my name is Enid Mai Jones. For the last 30 years, I have been an association professional. That means I have worked in association management. In America, there's an association for every damn thing. Whether it's a professional association for engineers, doctors, teachers, or it's a trade for health, technology. So that's the space I've been. A lot of people don't know that you can pretty much make a good living working in associations. We are tax exempt. We are not nonprofit. So that means we generate revenues through programming. I worked in providing professional education for healthcare workers for the last 14 years. But before that, I worked for the National Association of Black Journalists. I worked for the schools and colleges of optometry. Currently, for the last 2 months, I have been working for the Association for States and Territorial Health Officers, meaning I've been working for the Trade Association for the Secretary of Health for the states. Okay. We are a staff of 225 employees, and we are virtual. But what I do for them is I was brought in to implement diversity, equity, and inclusion within the staff and the work environment. So that's what I am
Oh,
currently doing.
Wow.
I
I didn't
also
even know that.
passed my certification, so I'm a certified association executive.
Woo.
Um, and I tell you now, it's not an easy exam. So life has been good. I am a graduate of the
yep.
University of Kansas. So I came here at 18, went to University of Kansas. I got an undergrad in biology, decided I didn't want to go to medical school. So I went ahead and got 2 masters. After that, it's moved to DC, and yeah, I have one daughter, Naya, who's an artist. She's a graphic design student at Seton Hall University, and I am the better half of Mr. Charles Edward King.
Woo.
Now that would be a lot. That's another story for another day because we've come a long, we come a long way. That poor man, I've been running behind him all my life.
You got it now. That's why you got it now. That's why he's singing to you.
I know, right?
I know. So
So that's
we're gonna hear from thank you in a minute. And I think maybe your experience has also helped Peter Harris Association. Someone is saying you are the CEC for association, CIC for
yeah. Actually, I went to convent. Um,
okay.
with the boys, my brothers went to Peter
Yes,
Harris,
yeah.
but me and my
Okay.
sister Ovetta, we went to convent. You
Okay.
know, all Liberian people, y'all got association, y'all you know how to run it, but y'all go ahead.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. So Mr. Joseph, we haven't even started with you yet, and I'm telling you, you're already the favorite of the people commenting. I am telling you. You got a lot of
Oh, really?
Cathedral people already line up. Everybody is saying the papa is on, the papa is. So
Tell
Uh,
them
tell
what
us,
they ask.
tell us who Mr. Joseph is. Tell us about you.
all right. So, Vladimir Joseph. We've been married for 22 years. We have 4 girls. I'm sure you're all aware of that. I'm currently working in the insurance industry. I manage a group of claims consultants that handle incoming claims for the company that I work for. Um, in addition to that, we, Agatha and I, we tend to open businesses here and there. And depending on depending
What
on
is all on mine?
exactly that's what we run with. So I guess you would say we're business owners, and yeah, that's me.
That's good. Agata, you wanna tell us a little bit about Agata today since you're in the seat?
Wow, that's a loaded question. Yeah, we should do a show for just us. I'm not sure how to say that. So I'm the better half
There
of
you go.
Mr. Joseph.
Okay.
Glad said it well. We have 4 girls, and I work in the IT profession for the last 18 years, and I own all custom creations. This time around, my
Mhm.
husband, I have to say, he's more of a partner and a cheerleader. I'm gonna be honest with you. I come up with the weirdest ideas, and sometimes I don't even believe it, and he makes me believe in what I'm thinking of. It's so weird. So I will tell you a little bit about that. We've owned a clothing store. I don't know what, 10, 12 years ago maybe. We've also
Something like
owned
that.
a braiding shop. We've also owned an escape room because we needed to. Our children, 2 of our girls were teenagers, and they couldn't find jobs, so they needed experience. So we decided to open an escape room, and they had 3-4 years of experience working for the family business, and went out to have customer service jobs. And that's one of the things that I'm really grateful that we did. Honestly, glad because we employed just young people that didn't have any experience. So and that's all we would hire. And they could use us as references when they went out into the big corporations to get their, their jobs. So I'm really proud of that. And in addition to that, I'm an event planner. And when I say yes, that means Mr. Joseph has said yes, whether he knows or not.
You just commit him.
Yeah, I do commit him. I remember him telling a friend of ours that, oh, she's saying yes to that. Yeah, that means I'm going to be doing that because she can't do that. So,
And then we also, in addition, don't forget the cleaning business we had in North Carolina.
oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Yes, we did have a cleaning business. We've come a long way, Glad.
Yeah.
We used to clean corporate offices. That was some 20 years ago.
And don't forget the many NGOs that you committed to.
Yes, I do. From the Cathedral School Alumni Association, when I was president, he served. I created our Assembly of Women Empowerment. He's still serving that. We have a couple of children in Liberia that we support, and then of course our Zogo, as Uncle Caleb said, well, my nephew.
I know.
Yeah.
You and I have a lot in common in that for 14 years I did the meeting planning and conference planning.
Okay.
In addition to the professional development education. So I had to do the conference. So that, you know what it means. It means doing a lot of meeting planning.
Yeah.
And also throughout my career, I will hire, I continue to do so, young Black women. I am a proponent of Black women and supporter of Black women. And most of them were young Liberian girls who worked for me as intern and now have formed a career in association management. So that's
awesome.
What we have in common.
We need to talk because currently the
Glad, she's putting a new job for you. Just wait.
It's coming.
Currently, what Assembly of Women Empowerment does is find jobs for young women in Liberia.
Okay.
In Liberia. Which is, it's very difficult because you all know how Liberia is. And I talked to you earlier about your brother. My first job that I earned a paycheck was working for Jojo Jones architecture firm. I was his gopher. And for those of you who don't know what a gopher is, I was... What's the other word for it? The professional name now is
the messenger. The messenger care.
I want a messenger. Yes, I want a messenger care. I want his personal assistant. If you wanted to know anything about Jojo, good, bad, and indifferent, I was it. I held all his secrets, all the money, all the contracts. So, I give back in that way. And right now I'm actually working with Kana Cash to find a business manager for have a young lady two young ladies that we're interviewing right now. So yeah, we need to talk after this show, Enid Mai, so we can get together.
Yeah, Agatha is gonna, folks, if you're just joining us this evening, we have Mr. Joseph here, Agatha's husband. You can just see her beaming from one side of the jaw to the next side of the jaw. And then we also have our guest co-host, Enid Mai Jones. I want to start first before Enid Mai can ask a question. I'm here in 22 years. I want to first say why is he called Mr. Joseph?
Oh gosh. Mr. Joseph came from a friend of ours, Connie Mitchell. Way back when. I don't even know if we were married then. Yeah, I think we were. We're in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Connie couldn't remember Vladimir. She
knew my she knew my name.
I know she knew your name, but she kept saying Mr. Joseph, and it kind of just stuck. And when I went on Facebook, I say a lot of junk that I'm not supposed to say. So I don't usually refer to my family by their full names. Even my children, I refer to them as freeloader number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then, of course, I refer to Glad as Mr. Joseph. But just that's it. Someone started calling him that, and we just stuck with it.
Stuck with it.
Yep.
You see, I only get called by my full name, Enid May Jones, when I'm in
Yes.
trouble. Yeah, no. So, Mr. Joseph, I appreciate the fact that you call Mr. Joseph just because you got stuck with him.
Yeah.
So let me ask Mr. Joseph a question before Ineme can come in and ask some questions. I'm hearing 22 years. We refer to Agatha as badass. And then we see Mr. Joseph who is on the calm and the quiet side. How have you been able to keep this marriage successful, calm, and just a beautiful relationship for 22 years?
Um, like you said, I'm the calm one, right? So sometimes in a relationship to make it work, you have opposite that attracts, right? So it's been working. Like I said, we've been together 23 years, married 22, and it's just about getting to know who you're married to, getting to know your partners, getting to know the good and the bad and being able to live with it, right? And because everyone's going to bring something different to the table, right? So as you get older and you mature in your life and in your marriage, when challenging times come about, you got to find a way to work through it and move forward. Because in every marriage, and I will tell you this from experience, you have every marriage has its problems, right? It's about how you work through those problems and how you communicate and such. So Agatha will tell you, I'm not a great communicator, and I will say here, I am not, right? I tend to hold things in, but that's just who I am. That's who I've always been. And I find a moment in time when I have to say something, I'll say something. And when I don't need to say anything, I just won't say anything. But she knows this. But at times she will try and push the buttons to get a response from me when when needed. Um, but that's just who I've always been. Even as a child growing up, I've always been an introvert, quiet, calm, and that's just me. But we make it work. We make it work.
Beautiful.
And my granddaughter's
Yeah,
not
she
here
wa-
now. Yeah.
she want to be a part of the show.
I
That's
know,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
I know
Correct.
she want to be
So
that guest. So when I just want to make a quick point. When I'm hearing 22 years. I'm hearing we've been together for 23. Now let me go into my. I try to tell people when I'm on the show with Michael and Agatha, I gotta speak distinctly and speak some good English. I will quick go into the librarian too. So let me go into the librarian too right now. Those of you who can say you want to stay together 20 years before you're married. The people were together 1 year they married, now you're 23.
Yep.
Let me just tell you,
yeah,
it doesn't matter. It's the camaraderie, respect for one another, understanding, and then finding the balance. I think you talk about Mr. Joseph, talk about that balance. Everybody
yeah,
know Akatayin gave 2 rats ass for nothing. If you bring it to her, she will give it to you. But you see her, all that stuff that she does when she be doing all that people talking, Mr. Joseph probably just be there watching his TV or
yeah.
walking with his granddaughter and just ignore her crew
Yeah.
mix up self. Okay.
Yeah.
May go ahead.
Well, at times I just have me a little drink. So
There you go.
Mr. Joseph, I almost brought my glass of wine,
you
but I hadn't had dinner yet. So
you
next
should
time,
have. We would have cheers.
Cheers.
exactly, exactly. But what I'm hearing is that not that you are not a good communicator, you are more of an even keel kind of person.
Correct.
And I tell you, if being even keel, a woman like Agatha, and she can probably correct me if I'm wrong. She needs a man who's stronger than her, somebody she cannot break.
Correct.
And because that's me, so I see like kind and know like kind. So your ability to stay calm
Hmm.
really guides the relationship.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're willing to help her in every, things that interest her, her interests. And likewise, I read somewhere where they say marriage is a relationship that lasts long. It's when people are kind to each other. And
Mhm.
it
Correct.
seems like that is something that's
Yes.
there in your relationship, kindness, because
Yes.
you support her and
Mhm.
you're kind to the things that she's interested in, even though sometimes I'm sure you're thinking this is a dumb idea.
Yeah.
you you go along with it.
Go
So
along with it. Correct.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I
Yes.
say
Because
that. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, growing up, when I was younger and looking at the relationship between my parents growing up, one of the things that I did not want to do was to have, because they had disagreements and like you do in all marriages, right? But one of the things that I wanted to do was to make sure that if we do have disagreements, is stuff that we're able to talk about in private. So I know sometimes, we talk about it within ourselves that even when we went through some challenging times, our children really didn't know about it because we kept it between ourselves. That was a private conversation where there was a disagreement or whatever the case might be. So, we kind of shielded the kids away from that. And we made it work. Yes, you can say, she's fire and I don't know, I guess I'm ice,
Yes.
whatever. But um, but I know I know how to talk to her. I know when to give my inputs, right? Because you know, and that's where the communication comes into play, right?
Mhm.
And knowing when to intervene and knowing when to step back.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You communicate when it's time to communicate. You just
Necessary.
don't
Correct.
talk because you gotta talk. I mean,
Correct.
there are some people like that, and
Yeah.
Let,
so
let me
I
tell
think
you
also.
something.
Go ahead.
Let me say something. One person cannot make an argument.
no.
I have come to learn that.
Mhm.
And for those who know me and know me well, I never back down from a good fight.
Never.
Mm.
That is that is
Mm.
true Nigeria in me. But you can't argue with yourself. I'm just gonna be honest with you. For the first 10 years of our marriage, I don't think, and correct me, Glad, we didn't have a fight. We didn't have
Mhm.
any argument where I was so upset. No. First 10 years, and I think maybe our 12th year, we had an argument where and that was the one and only time. And since then, even if we disagree, and let me tell y'all, I cruel Nigerian. I won't
We
fight.
know. We know.
It's in my nature to want to, to
You
get
want to
it
beat
out.
somebody.
But exactly. But you can't argue with yourself, my friend. You
True.
can't. I don't care how you poke the bear. If the bear don't move, you on your own. So
Mhm.
Mhm.
I've learned, if I poke and I poke and I poke and he ain't fighting, I'm like, damn, okay, we gotta go. So we gotta. Then I calm down, and then by the time we're talking about it, there's no fight left in me. So
Exactly. Yeah, I can fully understand that. The last a couple of before the pandemic, we're at my friend's house, and we're in this heated argument. She and myself and her husband,
mhm.
and Apple said to me, babe, let the man talk. And I shut and I just became quiet. And my girlfriend started dancing. Oh my God, somebody can shut my friend up. But when you find a person who you give that respect to, you know when to shut up.
Yes,
Yes.
You know
Yes.
very much when to shut up
absolutely.
when you've gone beyond that point where you just have to be quiet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I think one of the well I'm a serious fan of Mr. Joseph because he's not a man of many words, but I like quotations, I like profound statements, and I think I've learned the second thing I've learned from me also is that uh, um where he says we if anything happened between us, it was between us and we took it, we didn't bring the children. Now you have
oh,
sometimes people will pretend to say, if he came home, my husband came home, and I'm not gonna give him food, and he says, "Mommy, you won't give daddy food
Oh
because I'm
no.
upset." I think it's a beautiful thing for people to learn, to see, to hear this and see what they can do to be able to keep it between them, because they're adults. The children may not know how to
Yeah.
relate to the differences that they may have. So I know Agatha is one of the things I know about your wife is when she shows up to a party, she is damn sexy. Let me just say it for you.
You're crazy.
He is. So Mr. Joseph is there. We're talking about the party you all went recently. And I saw that dress and I saw Mr. Joseph. I said, they want to turn up the people place. What Mr. Joseph is doing? I want to ask, when you sit there and you see your wife and how it's like, so they can just say to me, and I know you guys are very private, that just says to me that Agatha is very spicy.
Yes, she can be. Yes, she is.
Yeah, she is, because you can tell it's like there ain't nothing old fashioned about this woman here. She takes it off the park, and you just let her do what she wants to do. There's some freedom in it's like she's a grown woman. You can see that when she dresses, and you can see that when she's with you. And I say that to say that you're in the background, you're supportive. Some men will not want that, because it's like they have. Do you ever get to the place where you're uncomfortable or you don't trust? You're like, who's gonna be liking my wife tonight? Do you ever think about that?
Mm, mm, no, I don't. I don't think I've ever come across that. To be honest, because you know, in the first couple of years of our marriage, there was nothing. There was nothing that she did or that would cause any concern for me trusting in her, or whatever the case might be. So it's it's more as you continue to grow and you continue to learn about the person, then you know what to expect, right? So I know what to expect from her, even if I'm not around, and I know she goes out and she may go to a party, whatever the case might be. I know what to expect because we've gone to places together, and the my hopes are is that the same way she acts when I'm around, which I believe is the same way she acts when
Yes.
I'm not around. So I I don't believe I've ever been put in that position to think otherwise.
Okay. So I'm gonna turn it to her now. Mr. Joseph is fine.
Like new money. $100 bills.
Yes, he is fine. So do you go somewhere and then all of a sudden you see Mr. Joseph may probably just walk to the table to get a drink, and then you be like, and you see somebody saying hi, what you do?
Two parts to this question, and I'm going to be really honest. The first 15 years or so of our marriage, I I wasn't even thinking that. But the older you get as a woman, you gain a little weight, you've had children, you don't I shouldn't say you. I don't feel as confident as I used to feel 15 years ago, if that makes sense. So, yeah, nowadays, I kind of like he looking too fine. They better don't be looking at my husband. But in the same um in the same space with Glad, he's never made me feel like I had to wonder, if we're out together, he's always hands on. My husband is affectionate. He will hold me, he will hold my hand, he will go get me drinks, he will dance with me because y'all know I like to dance. Even if he tired, he on the floor with me. So no, I don't think anything he's done publicly that made me feel indifferent. However, it's my own insecurities. Has nothing to do with him, but it has to grow, it has to do with getting older, not, gaining some weight, not being as physically fit as I used to be, and all those things that comes with aging. But he helps me with that confidence. by him being there with me, by him holding me and being attentive, especially when we're out. So that's the honest answer.
That's really beautiful. And I'm listening to her, and she's sitting, she's seeing me here sitting, she's talking about she gained some weight. And what am I supposed to say?
I mean, I think we all.
Yes.
I remember when I was 110 pounds. You know, we all have gained weight.
Yeah.
Um, our body has changed, even the men.
Yes.
But I think you mature where, like Agatha is saying, that her husband makes her feel secure.
Yes.
Yes.
He has done his job. He has made her feel secure. Not like anybody. You wearing those blouses that come down a little bit longer and they flare a little bit much, because you don't want to see that middle.
Yep. The muffin top.
Exactly, the muffin top. So I do want to ask, in that space, when do you recognize? Do you recognize when you think she's feeling insecure in a situation? Do you see that? Or just because it's your nature to pay attention to your wife, you just go about paying attention to her. But have you ever recognized a situation where she may have felt a little uncomfortable?
Uh, yes. And typically, and normally I would try to address it because I know the weight thing has been something over the last few years that has, you know,
I heard today that most people have gained close to 29 pounds during
yeah.
COVID.
Yep, that's true.
But and I just try to continue to instill in her that she is not fat.
Good.
And I try to show her because we watch certain shows on TV. She likes to watch, what's it, 600 pounds,
Yep.
whatever, on TLC, right? And having them go through their surgeries and stuff. And I say, you're not fat, based on what we're watching on TV.
Right.
You're nowhere near that, and I don't believe she would ever be anywhere near that. So you look good as you. Not everyone gains weight. I myself, I gain weight. I was never this big before, and I've gained weight as well. So, but for me, and maybe it's a man thing. I don't know. I'm comfortable where I'm at. If I need to lose weight, I'll lose the weight, but I'm comfortable where I'm at. But for her, it's more of trying to reassure her that she's not fat, and that she looks good the way she is. Now, if she wants to go and exercise and lose some weight or whatever the case might be, I try to support her in that way. The only thing is I don't diet, so that's I can't. She alone can. She alone can do that one. So. But we used to ride bikes. We used to go to the same gym and exercise and stuff like that. So, but you just try to be supportive to the best you can.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that is a sign of a healthy relationship. Like my daughter always say, you got those African auntie who's still carrying that 30-year and go baby weight. And the first thing they want to say, how you get the fat so?
Exactly.
And they carry that baby weight from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's something in our society that I cannot stand. That body shaming.
Yes.
It's not right. It comes a lot from men. Liberian men can be very insensitive. They don't realize that they are. And it comes from that aunt or somebody who carrying that 30-year-old baby with herself and have the nerve to say, how you getting fat? But you fat now.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, they don't realize it. So after I've been here for so many years, my first time back in Liberia in 2013, I wanted to wear something African to church. So my cousin carried me to a tailor shop. Mm-hmm. And the seamstress there I recognized. And so you've been here and you're not going to just see somebody and call him fat. And I got this, she said, Ma, you fat? Oh,
Mhm.
well, it's like I looked at when I heard it first, I felt insulted, but then I had to breathe because now I was in Liberia. So to say somebody fat, you can say all the time. But I think it's a beautiful thing when you understand you have somebody who supports you. So I'm gonna go into a little bit more difficult question for me. I'm gonna make sure I ask all the questions here tonight because I
Ask
might
it.
not get this opportunity again. So Agatha always talk about a beautiful relationship that you all have. This is a second marriage. So you meet Agatha and you charm her. And how has she been? How is it? How have you been able to 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 meet her within a year, coming out of another relationship and just sweep her off her feet to be so comfortable and happy? Because I don't know. After 29 years now, I'm single and divorced and a virgin. I don't know when I'm gonna get to where she is. But I just want you to tell us how were you able to just have her change the whole 360 degrees, turn around and focus on you and be happy.
Um, so we met at one of the Catch School, reunion. And as I started to, as I don't know, you want to call it court or, talk to her, whatever the case might be. Um, One of the things that, we would do is we could talk on the phone because at the time I think I lived, if I remember correctly, I was still living in Florida and she was living in Rhode Island, and we would call each other on the phone, and this is not an exaggeration. If we would probably sometimes we'll talk from maybe 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, just conversating. So getting to, and I think because of the distance there, we spent a lot of time learning to know each other, on the phones. And then eventually, my job had relocated me to Raleigh, North Carolina, and she moved down to Raleigh as well.
What a
And after
coincidence.
she followed me to North Carolina.
I know, right?
Uh,
Gladys,
so-
there's no shame in the game, yeah, child.
Yes.
no, but we had discussed it, and I was moving to North Carolina, and I asked her to move down with me, and then she relocated from Rhode Island as well. Um, and I believe, if I'm remembering, I moved in October. This was right before winter hit, so maybe September, October of '99. And for the first couple of months, things was just going really, really well. The connection was there. And like, and I believe, it was April, yeah,
Yep.
of the following year. We were just home one day. I think I was off of work. I can't remember how it went. And I just said, let's go get married.
Ah,
Wow.
submit. Now,
Wow.
Agatha, you tell me, I mean, it been 20 some years, but to take that step to go down to North Carolina
Mhm.
after being divorced and all of that, and the relationship was still young, to make that step, what was your process? How were you willing to take that risk?
That's what it was,
They
a
say they
risk.
say she was her teacher yesterday. She was looking for a man. Say some matter.
That miss Amula.
Agatha was looking for a man.
Honestly, I literally came from a marriage into another marriage. I don't know, something about Glad made me feel comfortable, made me feel secure. I also, for the first time, was a single parent. I was divorced, and I have a daughter from my first marriage. Leslie was 4 when we
4 or 5, yeah.
4 or 5 when we started dating. And I don't know, I'm going to be honest with you. There was just a calm after my storm that Glad provided for me. And, you know, it was a risk and it paid off. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was a huge risk and it paid off. Leslie and Glad are, I mean, they have a wonderful father-daughter relationship. There is no step in our household. You know, the kids joke a lot. Leslie is what, 27, 28 now? I can't remember.
27.
27. And they talk, the girls, when they talk about getting married, who's going to walk her down the aisle. And she always say, I'll have both my dads, you know, on each side, or, you know, and, you know, they play it so many different ways. But I'm going to be honest with you. Everybody's story is different. It felt right to me at the time. And, you know, I was in a storm, and that storm was passing and he was the calm. And I
Woo!
just took that risk seriously.
Beautiful, beautiful. So there's a romantic side to you.
Me,
You.
I think there is. Why do you think I got 4 children?
Yes, 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 I love you.
I just don't know how to wash my roach.
I get her a lot of conversation because I just had this conversation the other day, and I said, you know, I'm not that romantic. He goes like, you're not romantic at all.
Glad is actually very romantic. You know,
Yes.
there's a post on Facebook that Liberian men are not romantic. Well, my husband was born in Liberia. He may be of Haitian descent, but he's still Liberian in my book. And I still remember, there are 2 things that I remember specifically in the 22 years stood out. I'm going to share it that stood out to me. The first time was maybe our first year in North Carolina, or maybe we were just visiting. I can't remember. We went out. I don't know how it happened, but when we got home or at the hotel, there was, the entire bed was covered with everything Victoria's Secret.
There you go.
There was lingerie, there were undergarment, there was everything. I still remember that, you know, I remember experiencing that. And then the second time, and this was there was no birthday, there wasn't any of that. It was just out of the blue. The second time my husband did this was, we were visiting my mom in Georgia. I don't know if you remember.
Mhm.
And we were on the air mattress in her living room. She lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. We were in the living room. I don't know if the girls were with us. I can't remember, but it was just
they were.
him. And we woke up that morning, and my husband, it wasn't a birthday, it wasn't Mother's Day, it was nothing. And he got me this diamond necklace, the 3 diamond necklace. I still have it. It must have been 15, 20 years ago. I can't remember. But just imagining waking up on an air mattress in your mother's living room and you get a present. So I know it may be insignificant to some people, but for me, those are the things that I remember. It
Well,
wasn't a
listen.
birthday.
Let me make an announcement here. Let me make a plea. It is not insignificant. If you're out there and you're trying to come to me, make sure you buy me diamonds.
Yeah.
Make
So,
sure,
you know,
make sure,
those
because
are the types
it was
of
beautiful.
those are the types of things, you know, it wasn't planned. Like I said, birthdays and Christmas and all of that, you expect something, at least back then. Now we don't do any of that. But back then you would expect that. But this was just for no reason. And there are multiple times that Glad's done that. I remember one time we were on our way to the airport and we were too early. So we went to Tiffany's. I love Tiffany's. Anybody that knows me, I love Tiffany's. And I had lost my wedding ring years, and I just couldn't find the one that I wanted. And we went to Tiffany's because we were too early to go to the airport. I can't remember where we were traveling.
No, you were traveling. I was
You were
staying put.
taking me to the airport?
Yeah.
Okay. So we stopped to the Tiffany store, just walking around. And I got the diamond that I wear now with my wedding band. So, you know, just things like that that are not planned. I wasn't expecting it. Spur of the moment. Those are the kinds of things that, you know, I cherish. I don't take for granted. And it means the world to me when things like that happens.
Beautiful. You see, the day was ordained. We had to hear this love story. and it's actually really, really beautiful. I want to switch gear a little bit and go and hear. But I want to hear, but I want us to hear about this serenaded woman
Yes.
here. I want us to hear about you coming home and eating dinner. And I probably think that I don't know if you fixed dinner. Please tell me he made the dinner because it'll be even more beautiful.
No, no, actually, I made the dinner, but my sister used to laugh because everybody in my family say I'm a good cook. I just never like to cook, especially for other people. But my daughter made a joke the other day. She's like, "Girl, I come home from school. There's no food in this house. But every night when I call you, oh, I'm cooking dinner. I'm cooking dinner." So I said to her, "Well, when you have a man who you cook dinner and then he comes and he cleans up,
There you go.
Yes.
and you want to do something like that for somebody because one, you ain't got no excuse no more to say you're tired when it's time to go to bed because he's helping
Exactly.
out. I tell my friends that I said you complain about being tired and you forget about pleasing the man, but you're not pleasing yourself because you're
Yeah.
not getting any help. So I cooked dinner, he cleaned up, and then he sat down and he started to play the piano.
Oh, that was beautiful.
I know.
And it was just one of those evenings that um, things that he does is relaxing. He is even cute too. He's also very romantic.
Tell us.
He's extremely romantic. He would do things. I remember, people. My 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 category of romance is different from other women. I don't like flowers. I think they're a waste of money and they die too fast. If you got $75, give me my damn $75. I got nothing to do. If you can buy me no flower that will die tomorrow,
You're such a Jones.
don't buy me no grocery store flower because it be dead in 2 hours. Don't waste the money. So when I got the job I have now, and since I have to work from home, I was home, and he comes with a keyboard, a camera, and sets up my entire office for me.
Woo.
For me, that is the kind of man I need because he was thinking about me
Yes.
and making my life comfortable, not waiting for one day and call 1-800-Flowers
Yep.
and spend $75.
Yep.
Then I have to turn around and make the dinner plans. Because
Yeah.
all he think he's supposed to do is to spend some money on some damn ass roses that gonna be dead the next day. So that's my that's me. And I think
Yes.
everybody should learn the partner.
Yes.
What it is that you going to to make your partner feel good. If your partner
Yes.
like roses, that's fine.
Right.
But don't do it for every woman just because you think that's
Yeah.
That's
something
what they
you're
like.
supposed to do.
Mhm.
Love
True,
language.
true. Yes,
Mhm.
it's true. You gotta learn it. You gotta learn
You
it.
got to learn
So,
your
folks,
partner's love language.
those of you who's watching, we've been having such a good evening today. We had, of course, we had Mr. Joseph on. Michael missed this. He missed. Michael missed that. We had Mr. Joseph. He came on graciously so that we can close the love month. This is Agatha. I mean, when you put the show on there, you ain't gotta tell that this is Agatha's boo.
Yeah.
It's a boo.
That's my boo. Hey,
That's how
boo.
I mean, she is so lit up. Even
Yes.
giving me no life for you can
Yeah.
tell she's just so lit up.
What can I say? After
I
22
know.
years, my heart still skips a beat when he walks in.
Yes.
Yes.
And someone, Beatrice is one of our famous favorites, or one of our, am I using the right word? Famous followers. She said this. She said,
Faithful.
yes, marriages do work. Second marriages.
Second
We're
marriages,
promoting that
yes.
tonight, and we want to say,
Sometimes sometimes you don't find the right person.
Yes.
I can honestly say that my first two marriages should never have happened. They were just not compatible. We were just not compatible. And I married American man, Liberian man, all.
Oh, but you
But
know
we
what?
were not compatible. It should
But
never
in
have
a man,
happened.
it made it happen so you could be the person you are today.
Today.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Yes.
believe had I not gotten married first, I wouldn't be the wife I am today. I
Yes.
learned a lot, be it good, bad, or indifferent. I am who I am today as a wife because of the wife I was before.
I say that meaning that people should give themselves liberty
Absolutely.
to meet somebody, even if it's the fourth try, and do it because maybe that is the person
Yeah.
that will work. We need to give ourselves
But
grace.
let me just say it right now. Let me make a public announcement. If you ain't meet any of the criteria yet tonight, don't come in my inbox. You hear me? My inbox. But listen, folks, since we want to go to the second portion of the show, just stick around, please. Thank you for watching. Do not go. We want to go now to our second portion. If you're watching us, this is Women with Words. We're here this evening with Mr. Joseph Agata Funny, and we're also here. We're also here with Enid Mai Jones, our first Golden Mike winner, and boy, we've had a good time.
Yes.
We have to do a show where we're going to talk about relationships for you to come on.
Yes.
And we're looking for. We hope that we can have you and Banja Carter on. That will be the show.
And Kuluba.
Yes, that will be the show because it's
Yes.
not going to be easy. So we want to go now to trending topics in Liberia. We try to do that. We look at Liberia, of course, trending topics in Liberia. And what is trending in Liberia is the trash. The trash. What can we say about the trash? What can we do about the trash? How can we do away with the trash in the country? It's just everywhere. What are some of the suggestions? We don't want to just say, oh, do this, do this. We want to be able to say, what can we do? What needs to happen to get the trash out of that place?
We all grew up in Liberia. We know Liberia wasn't intended like that.
Nope.
We had trash trucks.
Yes.
So it is a failure of the governments, and I will put plural on it, the governments of Liberia. I mean, you have to pick up the trash. I remember on Broad Street there were actually trash trees to put trash on
Yep.
Broad Street.
Yeah.
Remember
But
that.
you see, the failure of us as a people is that we don't tell the people who are growing up in Liberia what Liberia used to be,
Yes.
because it makes us feel bad. Because we don't tell people that where trash be. People used to sweep
Yep.
sweep the street.
Yep. We got
There were
garbage
continuous
trucks.
to put trash.
Yep.
But nobody tells nobody that Liberia did not used to look that way. And they will pick up the trash and they will dump that trash somewhere else. Landfill, whatever. But it's the failure of the governments.
Yeah.
You know, in a made you bring up a good point. That maybe the I don't want to the people that are in. I'm just speaking about Monrovia now. Okay, so let me make sure I clarify that, because I remember way back when I went to Cape Mount, and that place was extreme. I'm talking in the 80s. It was so clean. It wasn't even yes, cleaner than Monrovia.
Yeah.
So the people that we have in Monrovia now are different caliber of people. And I don't say this to be condescending. I'm saying it because the things that we were exposed to when we were growing up and went to school in grade school in Liberia, Monrovia, the children now haven't been exposed to that. So they weren't taught. And something as simple as keeping your city clean is something that, people need to learn by either seeing, right, and experiencing, or having someone tell it to them. Something happened to me while I was in Monrovia a few years ago. I was jogging on Cinco, that boulevard, and there were sweepers. There were the city cleaners. Somebody was there. A lady was there picking up trash and sweeping and all of that. And I was jogging, and there was a lady, as I was going towards them, there was a lady waiting for public transportation. And right next to where the lady was picking up the trash was a trash bucket that the lady was using, the cleaner was using. This other passenger took whatever she was eating and dropped it, not even a foot from where the lady was cleaning. And I lost it. The crew in me came out. I went off on her. What the hell are you doing? Can't you see? Aren't you proud of your city? Yadi. She didn't even know who I was, but because I was just screaming at her, and I thought it was crazy that someone would do that, especially when the trash can is an arm's reach away.
And somebody cleaning.
Exactly. Even
so
the lady who
didn't
was
even have common sense to say, let me put it in there. So when I blasted at her, she picked it up and she put it in there. But I'll say this, as Liberians, if I'm in my subdivision and I'm walking and I see something out of place, I take pride in where I live. I'll pick it up and put it in the trash can. I will say something. We know our government right now, governments, as you said, has failed us in the last few years, 10 years or so. But the people, the Liberian people themselves, they need to take pride in where they live. Start recycling, separate plastic and from trash. Get compost, make a garden. That's another way you can get rid of trash. I know the government is responsible.
No, not the government. What I was about to say to you is that people don't know what they don't know.
Exactly.
You have to teach people.
But when Mary Brown was walking around just a few years ago, the people were cleaning up. So for you to say they don't know, I will have to somewhat disagree to an extent.
Well,
they do know.
I love Mary Brown, but I think her tactics creates.
That's a different show.
Yeah, yama. Yeah, and it creates enough yama. But a lot of times, so it becomes more of a antagonistic duty instead of, like you said, bringing pride to the people, encouraging them. When the kids are in school, teach them how to take that trash to the trash.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't know what they don't know. You don't know how to. You've lived in turmoil all your life. Your entire existence.
Exactly.
I've been one bunch of yama. Just that turmoil. And then you tell me, oh, I'm supposed to be going and recycling. That's a difficult thing for people who have never experienced the calm that we lived in, the atmosphere we live in, the kind of society that, and this has nothing to do with whatever divisions and this thing and that nonsense. I'm talking about as a people. We lived in a city that looked like the cities that we were seeing in books.
Yes.
Some of these people have never cracked a book before. They even know what.
That's true. But in all of this, you still have to help yourself.
Yes.
You can't drink the water from the plastic and just throw it on the floor. I mean, those types of things they can do on their own. But we can sit here and talk about this for hours. The day in Liberia will not finish by big you. Whether that Koji or whoever, you just clean the place before you start dying from dirt.
Mr. Joseph, you got anything to add? Or you good? Everybody said everything.
I'm over here fighting.
Fighting for his life.
No, but I agree. At some point in time, yes, we know that our governments have failed us, but And to the point that that Elmay made, you don't know what you don't know, right? And so it's gonna take teaching, right? Someone to actually go there and start to show and start to educate and
Mhm.
and show them the how the country used to look before. Someone, I think Agatha told me the other day, one of the reasons why some of the lights in Liberia or some of the red lights in Liberia don't work is because they haven't taken the time to
The,
clean the solar panels
yes.
of those,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's it's just that I don't want to say it's just that simple because once again, if you're not accustomed to doing certain things, you're not gonna follow through with it.
Yes.
However, we there's there's education that has to be made, that has to be done. We have to go do some teachings.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
unless you start doing that and seeing the progress and showing people what the country can actually look like, whether
Yes.
the government takes part in it or not, we as a people, it needs to be done by us. We can't
Yes.
depend on the government to do it.
You
True.
can't. And I'll tell
True.
you, Mr. King. So I call him Mr. King too. Mr. King on Saturday does this educational thing with some kids in Liberia, and it's actually teaching them how to take pride in themselves.
Yeah.
Forget about Liberia, but he's spending time. He's been doing it for the last 10 years,
Mhm.
and he's spending time with the youth. Um, and he's building them, thinking and teaching them how to be critical thinkers, how to actually develop a sense of logic. And I'm telling you, you'll be amazed the difference between when he first started with some of these young people to how they even talk and behave today. They can actually stand there and critically analyze a situation. But it's just him, and it's just a
Yeah.
few people, but that's a start.
Yeah.
We have to actually refocus the mind of the
Yeah.
Liberian people,
Mm.
the young people. Some of them too damn old not to learn anything. But yeah, but we need to teach people that, look, do you know why people die from Ebola? Ebola was the least transmittable disease.
Yeah.
It's because simple thing as washing your hands.
Hands. Yep.
I remember growing up, Mr. Bleedy used to cut on TV when you poo poo.
Yes. Yes, I remember that.
But let's make the connection between the diet and the illness that
Yes.
is in the community for the
Show
people
them.
to
Show them. Yeah.
understand that,
Yeah.
oh, this thing we're doing, I'm killing myself.
Yes.
Yeah. We have to show them. We have to show
Someone
them.
said, Beatrice Kanga Gray said, public health awareness is
Yes,
key to a clean environment. That is so
exactly.
true.
Yeah.
So very true. Douglas is saying we were taught to do that. That is
Yes,
true.
Yes.
We
that's
were
what
taught.
Which
Mr.
is true.
Bleedy,
Yep.
Mr. Bleedy used to come on TVA with a simple Liberian way.
Yeah.
Teach people how to communicate public health, how
Yep.
hygiene, everything.
Yep.
I mean, sometimes you're walking in Monrovia, and I go to Monrovia. I haven't been to Monrovia since COVID, and I used to go every 2 years. Sometimes when you smell people, you get dizzy street.
The name of
All
the
right.
guy, the name of the guy is Francis Popo Bleedy, and the program was Roadways to Help. Thank
Yes,
you,
Yes.
Joseph Sibori, for telling
thank
us
Yes.
that.
you, thank
Yes.
you.
Francis Popo Bleedy,
Bleeding
Roadways
That's
to
it.
to
Help.
help,
Always the help.
Yes.
and
Yes.
that
Yes. Yes. So we can do
cholera.
something. I think we can do. I mean, we're not in Liberia, but we're here. Wherever we are, we of course we always lending a hand. So if somebody were to say, "Let's start this project. Let's do something," it starts with you. You in your home. You in your environment. Do something about it. Don't just sit there and not do anything.
Yep.
So that's what's trending everywhere you go. Like Anybody who's coming from Liberia, even Roland Martin had a post about the trash in Liberia. Everybody's talking about it, so
Honey,
we need to do
and it's
something about
more. We do not take advantage. For example, my sister-in-law and I were talking the other day, and she said when she was in Liberia, she made a suggestion to one of the nurses at the maternity center. Say, you got these women sitting here waiting to see the doctor. What you guys need to do is get a phone, record. How do you take care of your child? What you supposed to do?
show video.
And be playing that video
over
instead
and over.
of you playing what she said. What on the TV? Nigerian movie. Coco, that what thing you to do now? That what you on the TV?
You're right, though. You're absolutely right.
Yes, yes.
You're
But
absolutely
anyway,
right.
want to make sure we talk about it because it's a serious thing. We hope that somebody with some kind of idea somewhere will come and who even have some extra cash to develop something. I think there's this lady, I don't know if it's Kenya or Nigeria, who did something about the trash, and now that person is a multimillionaire who took the trash, the plastic bag, and they made shoes and they made some other stuff. I'm pretty sure there's something.
We have plenty of Liberian people that have brilliant ideas.
Yes.
When I was in Liberia, we talked about this with a chemical engineer, my sister, and we talked to Jojo about it. We had a plan. Liberian government makes it difficult for you to do anything productive in Liberia. It's just the mere fact of it. But I'm going to leave it there because this is not about the Liberian government. We're going to have this really nice lovey-dovey show, and I'm just going to leave it there.
And I refuse to give anybody my money. I refuse. So my money going to where it's supposed to go to.
She said Gwen.
Yeah, Gwen.
Gwen. I have to make nobody rich.
I know it. I know.
They have to pay you company. No, I don't think so.
All right.
So we want to go to trending topics on the page. We have a good time on that page. I'm telling you, I look forward to it every day. It's almost like it's a breather of fresh air. If those Auntie Lucy's and Cousin Sarah's don't leave us and stop reporting us, we will be having a good time. But what's trending on the page? There's 3 postings actually. One of the posts was shared by Menka. And that post had 2.9 viewers, 2,900 viewers on this one post. And it said, if you go to date your ex again, what are you going to call it? And everybody was describing what they were meaning in that. What the common thing was that I'm not dating my ex again was most of the people. That's what they were saying. Then the other one that said that Liberian people, when they know you got money, they will create any kind of story to get your money. They will even call you and say your grandma not swallow cutlass.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Stories they will make up. And then the last one, they say that one was actually 1,400 viewers saying that Liberian men are not romantic. But I'm going to dispute that from this show today.
Yeah.
And not all Liberian men are not. There are some, just like there are just like there are Liberian women who are not romantic, but there are people who are indeed. And one thing I want to say, so there was this I'm going to talk about Alcata, Mr. Joseph, and there was this I don't know, it was somebody wedding you went to, was it I think you had on a black leather dress. Somebody,
a girlfriend of mine got married.
Man, if you have seen Mr. Joseph standing by that black leather dress, suited up.
Where did that come from now? We're back to it.
I just want to tell you, when your wife is that's part of it. That's part of romanticism. That's part of it. Your wife is dressed up nice. You ain't gonna wear no short trousers, boo. You dress your part.
Yes.
You show up. You show up. That's it. That's how you do it. I'm telling you about these people. Y'all better go watch. Go on her page. Y'all go see some pictures. She fine.
The thing about that too is sometimes we coordinate what we wear. You know, if we're going out, she may ask me, "What are you wearing?" or I may ask her what she's wearing, and then you try to find something, not all the time that matches, but at least coordinate,
Compliments it.
And
correct,
I
because
love that.
I don't want her to be dressed up and I'm dressed down, or vice versa,
Gotta
so
dress the part.
correct.
He
Yes, you
said
gotta.
we can pump out like brand people.
Yeah,
He said
that's what you coordinate.
So
yeah.
coordinate.
We complement each other. The man said, with my wedding scene outfit, we ain't wearing no Adidas tracksuit here. No, that ain't what the man said. Let me
But
clarify
it's a
that right
beautiful
now.
thing too. It's kind of nice. I mean, I like pumping. I really, really do. I think
You
somebody
do?
asked you. Yes, I do. I
Oh,
think
I like
somebody
it.
asked one time. I had asked somebody or going somewhere, and I was like, let's wear the same color. And they said to me, "You're your husband. I used to pump."
Now wearing the same relatively color, it's not
Yes,
really pumping, it's
it's,
making the same
it's
kind of,
complimenting each other. Yeah.
yeah, it's
So,
complementing each other. Is if you're wearing the African shirt, then you go make the African the same
Now
club with the dress.
pumping.
That one I can make it myself.
That the one that Yoruba people can call Ashwebi.
I
Yeah,
should be. Yes.
Yeah, when I wearing the scene lapa, no.
Yes.
no.
We ain't wearing the scene lapa, we pumping.
But I think we've had a good time, really good show. Thank you to Agatha and to Mr. Joseph being so open. I think this show and the last show we've had, we've really gone into people's marriages and heard, there are some beautiful marriages out there, people that complement one another, understand one another. And this is what this show is all about, is to look at social issues, look at things that people deal with every day so that they can be able to help one another. And I think in May, we thank you for coming. We thank you for being
Yes.
here with us. We appreciate you. And please make more videos. Tell that man to serenade you some more. So we, so we can share the video. We come to the end. We want to do the accent or no?
You know what? We got Intimate here. I really
Yes,
want to
let's
hear her
ask
take
Auntie,
on
let's
it.
ask her the question. Yes. Go
So
ahead.
right after the Ask Auntie, then we can certainly end the show. So Ask Auntie is a segment of the show where we get questions from our audience about anything. It can be about relationship, romantic or platonic relationship, dealing with your elderly parents, dealing with your children, whatever, professional, finance, whatever it is. The question today is, um, what do you do as a parent when when your child comes to you and tells you that they're gay? How do you handle that in a Liberian household, in an African household? How do you handle as a parent if your child came to you and say, "Hey mom, hey dad, I'm gay"?
I'm gonna make a statement. A lot of Liberian people gonna kill me, but Liberians are and Africans are very homophobic,
Yes.
and it's sad. It's
Yes.
very sad because, as we know, we are already struggling to survive. And I tell people, as a black woman in my professional career, when you walk into the room and you're the only black person and you're a woman, and you feel people looking at you like, what are you doing here?
Here, right.
You have that struggle already. Why create a situation for your child that is your child? Because I may be maybe one of the few Liberians who believe that gay people are not made, they are born that way. You see, my God seems to be different from other people God, because my God is a generous God.
Mhm.
He's a compassionate God. He does not judge nobody, because if he did, every Liberian man would be struck dead. Because they're cheaters, they're adulterers,
Yes.
Yes.
they're liars.
The
Come on.
pedophiles.
Come
Yes.
on.
So you cannot tell me, and I don't want to hear about religion, because
Yeah.
your religion seems to stop when you're not committing adultery, or when you're committing adultery, your religion seems to stop. But when your child comes and tell you he or she is gay, then all of a sudden Moses not say in the Bible, and
Moses.
Jesus not say somewhere. Oh, Jesus didn't tell you that you shouldn't be sleeping out at night. You shouldn't be lying to your wife. You shouldn't be taking the money from your household and supporting some skank somewhere.
Yep.
Jesus didn't tell you that, huh?
Yep.
So when your child comes to you and tell you he or she gay, you should now be the defense around that child.
Yes.
Let that child be who or she is. Protect them. Because as we know, it is hard.
Yeah.
It's a taboo in our society.
Yep.
Please, man.
Yep.
I grew up and all those down low men. Now we see some of them not leave their wives. Come on, man. Look, I
Yep.
don't want down low men. Be gay. So I don't have to marry you. So I
Thank
don't
you.
Exactly.
have to have children for you and then have to explain. Be gay.
So
There were
true.
too many down low men when I was growing up. Now we see now we're not happy.
Yep. Yep.
So when
Thank
your
you so
children
much
come
for
to
that.
you, when your children come to you, love them.
Yep.
Don't bring out the Bible.
Yep. So true, Enid Mai. Thank you so much. I know Glad had to step away, but Glenn, did you want to
I mean,
respond?
it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. Don't be so judgmental, because sometimes you find yourself in those difficult positions that when it chokes you, then you're not able to say what you need to say. So you just
Yep.
have to you have to I mean, I would say try not to form an opinion of something that hasn't hit you,
Right.
because you don't know how other people cope.
Yep.
So instead of you say, "Oh, it's so wrong," how can you love your child when you have that child and then maybe 20 years from now, and I know it can be difficult to adjust, but then 20 years, how are you able to differentiate that love?
Yep.
You say, "Oh, he's gay, so I don't love him." He's still your child. She's still your child. How are
Exactly.
you able to do that?
Yep.
You know, the other day I was on one of my family chats, and I'm a rebel. Um, and I got upset because one of my cousins put on there in Canada, they banned something called conversion therapy.
Yes.
What people believe that you can convert a gay person
That's a
back to straight.
horrible thing.
So they banned it. And she came in the chat and she put the video of the prime minister saying that it was banned. And she come with her God is on the throne. And so I let it pass one day, I let it pass 2 days. All that time getting pissed off more and more. So I got on the chat and I said, you know what? We're here to talk about family business. Your personal religious belief, I don't want to hear it. Don't impose it on me. I said, because you could be offending some of our family members who may have a gay child and too ashamed or too embarrassed to say that their
Yeah.
child
Yes.
is gay because
Yeah.
they know what's going to happen. But your
Right.
God on your throne, your God was not on your throne where all the people were dying here and there. Because, Liberian people, they're so funny because they think they don't know what God to look out for. Oh my God, I see you. Well, all
Thank-
the people when they were ripping that little girl down the street, God wasn't there too.
yeah.
But no, Liberian people, una one who God see people.
Yep. Thank you so much, Enid
And then
Mai.
Yes.
one who God there waiting. Oh yeah, you not do something to Liberian person, come and pay you back. Seriously. All the people that died in Rwanda, where was God? All the people that died in from the Civil War. Oh, the God was still waiting, eh? We take religion so literally,
Yeah.
Liberians. We convolute, we twist religion around to suit what it is that we want to say and
That's true.
do.
Yes.
When
That's
you
true.
humping your girlfriend in the corner,
Okay, Enid Mai. Enid Mai.
Yama, yama.
Dem a enter your
God.
easy, oh.
when your wife crying, where God at? When that child has to come to your door and knock, Pa, I cover my shoe. Where God at?
Everybody saying they enter you're not easy. Oh yeah.
Yama, yama.
Let me give Mr. Joseph a chance to answer that. Let's hear it from a man's perspective. What would you do? child come to you and say you're gay, they're gay?
You have to be accepting. You have to support them. We live in a world where it's not the 40s, it's not the 50s, it's not the 60s. I mean, you can even go as far as saying it's not the 70s, 80s, and so on and so forth. You know, I don't have any issue if one of my child, comes and tells me they're gay. It's a choice, that they're making, for a life decision for them, and as a parent, you're supposed to be there to support them, to guide them, to, and like you said, to defend them, because we live in a society where, yes, you have a lot of gay people out there, married, whatever, but there's still hatred,
Yep.
right? Towards that community. There's still hatred towards that community. So you have to be, and the other thing too is you want to make sure that if that's the decision, or that's the choice, that you be there to support them, to talk them through it, because there's a lot of emotions that they're going to go through. There's a lot of challenges they are going to go through. People are going to see them, for who they are, and be insulting towards them, or whatever the case might be. We as Black people, we have enough going on in this world.
Yep.
That should be the least of our concerns.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Thank you all so much for
Thank
that.
you. Thank
With
you.
what Enid Mai and Glendy and Vladimir said, that the one thing I will add, especially in addition to what Enid Mai said, and the people calling you the other auntie, yeah, auntie Enid Mai, auntie Enid Mai say our Liberian people would have put everything on religion. So I will
Yes.
end this segment with this: if your child comes to you and say they're gay, your job does not change from
As a
being their
parent.
parent.
Yes.
Whatever that responsibility was should still be. It doesn't change because of what your child has just shared with you.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
in addition to that, when you get to heaven, God's not going to ask you, what did your child do? God's
Yes.
going to ask you, what did you do?
Exactly.
Come on.
So
Come on.
I'm gonna end the Ask Into segment with that. And I want to encourage you, should you have a question you would like us to discuss on this show, please email us at gsbc@gmail.com. Visit us on our Facebook page, Women with Words. We do have that YouTube channel. You can certainly rewatch this show on YouTube. That's pretty much all for today, folks.
Thank you. Thank you. So let me just, before we go, say thank you again to our audience who've been watching.
Yes.
We can tell when people when you start the show, we can always tell by the guests that they're falling in love with, if they're there from the beginning to the end.
Yes.
So Douglas lives in England. You can tell he's into this show this evening. He's still up.
He said, these two must write a book. I will promote and read. Oh, so Glad and I should write a book.
Yes.
Wow. That's going to be a loaded book.
And everybody is asking for they said a serious on the show today. The real enter.
The real enter on the show today. And they ain't play with that.
Thank you to our audience. Thank you to Mr. Joseph. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Of course, we always say this show is not just for us.
Yes.
It is for everybody. If you have any burning desire, any topic you want us to discuss, let us know. If you want to come on, please feel free to come. Let us know, and we will, of course, we'll invite you to come on the show. Yeah. And if you have something that you want us to promote, of course, let us know. This is what this show is about. We have the talk show where we do serious English. We have the Yama Yama, which is tomorrow, Monday. I just
Yama Yama Friday.
Yama Yama Friday is tomorrow. Our guest for next week is Miss Monsieur Sabah. We're talking fashion.
We're going fashion next month, y'all.
Yes. So Monsieur will be here next week, Thursday, all March. We're gonna be promoting all fashion designers.
All things fashion.
All things fashion March. We got a diva herself. Agatha is a diva in her own rights. She'll be
I'm
she'll be
excited
here.
about next month. I really am.
Yes, we are. So we're and then if you're on there, and because I think March we have five Thursdays,
Yes.
I believe. So we have 5. They're all Liberian. If you have anybody out there who is from another, because we have Nigerians on this page, we have Ghanaians, and we have people, I believe, from, I want to say from, what's that country? Is it
Wasn't it India or somewhere there
India?
in Asia? Yeah, we got a lot of
India and
Asians.
Philippines, I believe.
The
So if you
Philippines.
have anybody from this country who is a fashion designer and you want us to do them, we will definitely bring them on sometime in April, because we're booked. My
Yes.
people, we are booked up to May. That's how booked we are. We're booked up to May. So please feel free to come. And until next week, Thursday, thanks to Mr. Joseph. Thank you so much.
Thank you both.
Enid Mai, for joining us. Until next
Thank
week,
you for having me.
Thursday. We want to say thank you to Banja Carter, who gave us the rights to play his song the
All
whole month,
February.
to own a song, to add our own twist to it, and to allow us to play this song for all month. Please go listen to Banja Carter. Go
Where
ahead.
can they buy the song?
It's on iTunes. It's also on is it Spotify?
Spotify.
I have it on WhatsApp.
Let's support our Liberian artists.
Yes,
Okay, go
please.
to iTunes.
It's a beautiful song.
Yes.
So I was talking to him the other night, and they actually, I think on his page now, it's actually 55,000 people that have viewed it.
Nice.
So please make sure we promote our own. So until next time, folks, thank you for watching. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
I said, baby, can I talk to you for a moment? Seems like I'm really feeling kind of low.